Yes, people, welcome back to another stream of L Bins. And it's the first episode of L Bins this season where we are officially trophyless.
Oh.
Sorry, bro. Did you expect me to say something nice?
I don't know what I was thinking. I was getting hyped up for nothing. I don't know.
Sorry, bro. I feel like I should have told you, innit? That's what I was going to say. I was going to start off on sort of a bit of a
I'm
negative
deflated
point.
now. That's crazy.
Should we just end the show?
Yeah. Bye, guys.
See you later, chat. Bye. Only joking. Smash these likes up, man. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Nobbins dressed like he's in Hawaii. Are you off on holiday, Bray?
No, it's just it was sunny this weekend, so we had like a barbecue outside. Many sausages and burgers were had. So I was just like feeling the flowery holiday shirts.
Yeah, get out of here, Matt. Come on, bro. We ain't shameless like that, Bray. Community shield. What are you talking about?
True.
Big up Jordan, big up Speardos, big up Ryan, Linney, Sherwin, Diaz, Itchy Goat, Guzu's in the building, B, Ashaz, big up McCluskey, bro, big up Beyond Belief. Matt, big up to you, bro. Big up to Mustafa, Chris, Louise. Good to see you guys. Make sure you're smashing these likes up on the way in, chat. Get these likes up rapid, innit?
Rapido.
Yeah, we're gonna touch on the game on Saturday, just because I've not spoken to Nobbins about the match, even on WhatsApp or offline or anything. So I'm kind of interested to hear his take. But we won't spend too long on it because I do want to speak about the future. You know what I mean? The transfers, where we go, how do we rebuild this team, and that kind of stuff as well. So yeah, that's where we're at. Anyway, smash these likes up, chat. I want to start by asking a question, bro. Did you learn anything new about this squad, about Pep Guardiola's tactics from the game on Saturday, or have you come away just with the same information as you've had for the last 4, 5, 6, 7 months?
No, I don't think I learned anything. No, not really. I think that in any other season, I probably would have done. I would have learned a lot about our players. I would have learned a lot about, Haaland, for example. I would have learned a lot more about Guardiola and his lack of, I don't know what the term is, confidence or certainty or assurance. But given the season that we've had, given all the issues that we've had all season, it wasn't really anything new. No, it's just more of the same old. I didn't learn anything about any of the players, didn't learn anything about Pep, didn't learn anything about our tactics. It was just like a perfect microcosm of the season as a whole, really, to be honest with you. Were you thinking that you learned something, or?
Slightly. I have a few questions on some of the players.
Okay.
And I've potentially shifted my level of importance of the rebuild on different positions. So,
okay.
First of all, I'm starting to have serious question marks about Akanji in terms of like his long-term future, because I've always said keep Akanji, keep him as a backup, but I thought he was poor and weak for the goal.
Yes.
I've come away from that game, and I have been thinking this a lot recently as well. I've come away from this game really believing that the fullback position in this team and for the rebuild, i.e. the 2 transfers, is absolutely crucial. And maybe it's higher up on the list of importance than previously I'd thought. I've come away from the game, and again, this has been building up for a while, not fully understanding where Nico Gonzalez's future lies if he can't get in a midfield with these players. I still have question marks about the wingers, but that's nothing new. And I guess really a major red flag for me is that I thought Kevin De Bruyne was really poor overall. However, he still created our best 3 chances of the game, and we're telling him to leave. And we still don't know whether or not we're going to be signing Florian Wirtz. So I guess there's a couple of things in there that have been like sort of like building up, and maybe not new, but the fullback issue been
confirmed.
It's been confirmed, man. I come away from that game confirming it. They're confirming it. The fullback issue for me is absolutely crucial this summer, mate, because we're meant to be a professional football club, yeah, elite institution trying to win the Premier League and the Champions League, and we have no fullbacks at the football club. Now, we have obviously been linked with a few, but we've got to get some in, man. I actually think we need 3, if I'm being honest with you. I genuinely believe we need 3 fullbacks, and Jack Gorman did an article last week and said we're only going to sign 1, or we might only sign 1, which is crazy disappointing if that's true. But yeah, that's sort of like, maybe nothing new, but like Akanji, I don't know, man, this guy's poor recently. He's just a very soft and passive defender, and then the fullback issues are probably the main thing. And then it's just a case of like, yeah, everything else I kind of already knew. The Kevin De Bruyne thing is weird, man, because like, bro, he created our best 3 chances. He created the chance for Echeverri. He created the chance for Haaland, and he created the chance for Nico O'Reilly. And it's like, bro, we told this guy to leave, man, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, that's all what I'm throwing out there. What do you want to?
No, yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Yeah, and this is we've been discussing this for a number of weeks, a number of months, all season. It's lovely how Nico O'Reilly has, performed of late, and he's done a very serviceable job. He's done a very good job. But if anyone thought that he was a long-term first choice option at left back, then I don't really know what to say. He's clearly not. I'm not trying to put it all at his door, but he didn't do well enough for that goal. He didn't pick up his runner well enough when he came into midfield as well. In possession, he struggled a lot, even in front of goal, where we're used to seeing him so assured. Surprisingly, he didn't take that shot, which was such a great opportunity. We already knew the right back situation. Yeah, and on Akanji, I was surprised he started. I will say that much. I still think there's something in keeping him at the club, but there's no way he should be nowhere near, starting right back option or starting centre back option. There's nothing wrong with having him in and around the squad as a body, just like letting him see out his contract, or is it 1 or 2 years he's got left? There's nothing wrong with him being like, third choice right back and a, second or third choice centre back. There's nothing wrong with that, but we're clearly beyond the point of him being a true option for City. He was very good in the treble year and decent the year after, but we're sort of like going back to the levels that maybe, or certainly I thought he was going to be. When we signed him, I thought he was going to be a 5th choice centre back. He proved me wrong. But yeah, I haven't learned anything new there. Like I guess he was just exceeding expectations. We know the midfield needs to be improved, and we know that players just need to be better on an individual level. And yeah, from a systemic perspective, we know that it's really hard to function without actual fullbacks. The treble year was clearly more of an exception to the rule than the rule itself. It's not common for teams to do well without actual proper fullbacks out wide. So that will hopefully be something that'll be addressed in the summer. We know what we need to do. If we know what we need to do, then the higher ups also obviously know what we need to do. And I'm sure we will do it. We're being like those, again, I know it's all rumors and what's not, but there was like an article where we were linked with, 2 fullbacks and 2 midfielders, and that's a minimum that we need to bring in the summer. It's good that we started the rebuild in Jan. And yeah, we need to go even harder in the summer. We need a 17-18 level of transformative window. And it probably will be similar. You mentioned 3 fullbacks. We signed 3 fullbacks in 17-18. We might need a goalkeeper as well if Ederson leaves. And we're going to need transformative players elsewhere. So it could be a similar level there. A lot of money to be spent, but a lot of money needs to be spent. So we just need to go out and suck it up and go do it.
And the thing is about these players, is these players have to be like ballers, isn't it? They have to be
starting quality. Yes, we can't be arsing around signing potential and the idea of a player. If we can't sign an idea of a player anymore, I know Doku and Savio are divisive figures. I personally like them, but we can't sign the Doku equivalent of a left back or the Doku equivalent of a right back, if that makes sense. We can't sign, he could be a world beater in 5 years. He just needs to be molded. Nah, we need to sign players who are ready to go right now. Now, it doesn't mean you've got to sign, the best left back in the world, but you've got to sign someone who can go into the starting 11, immediately improve us, and be like, right, you're our starting left back or right back for the next 5 years. That sort of thing. That's what we need to be going for.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned this window, right? This was the 17-18 window. And I want you to look at this chat, yeah? and look at the names and look at how senior these players were.
That's 5 starters, by the way, at least 5.
Yeah, exactly. So we brought in Laporte, from Bilbao, highly rated player, big cash, plenty of experience, right? We obviously got Mendy from Monaco. We'd obviously seen him in the Champions League. He was cooking, experienced player playing in the Champions League. Kyle Walker, at that time, was he the best right back in England at that point? Maybe. But he was certainly one of the best right backs in the league. Can't remember who else was knocking about at that time, and in Europe. Yeah, Bernardo Silva absolutely ripped us a new one. Yeah, I remember the game at the Etihad. I don't remember too much the game at Monaco, but the game at the Etihad Stadium, he was absolutely insane. He was moving like Lionel Messi in that game. Yeah, we went and picked him up. Like, he was basically on the cusp of world class. Ederson, didn't know too much about, but obviously they threw the cash down, got him out of Benfica. Danilo, all right, we bought him as a bit of a squad player, a player that could maybe push Walker or whatever, but we bought him from Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean? We're getting a player from Real Madrid. If you're getting a player from Real Madrid, they're probably going to be decent. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players. Obviously, one of them was in January, but 6 players, that could all come in, and bar Danilo, every single one of them was starting quality. Do you know what I mean? And these were good players. These were not players that needed time. These were not project players. These were starting 11 players. You know what I mean? And obviously you got Walker as well in for the Premier League, so you had a player there from Premier League experience. This is a sort of window that we need again. Yeah, our fullbacks for me have to be quality players. Yeah. Our 2 midfielders have to be quality, and the goalkeeper for me has to be experienced, and that's kind of why I'm not really fancying Trafford at the moment, because I just don't think he's got that experience needed, man. But we need to replicate this somehow, and the board have to get look at this and go, these are the type of players we need to get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. It's not even the conversation to be had the other way. It was evident that we probably needed these players to come in last season as well. We managed to get away with it. This season was one season too many. Yeah, and if we don't do that, then we'll be in the exact same situation. I'm feeling hopeful and confident that we will do that. Again, the higher ups have said, we know we made errors, blah 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 blah. We're going to amend that. We've seen the moves in January. Bringing in a player like Marmoush, who is clearly starting quality and ready to go. Of course, there were some, potential projects brought in as well. I'm not saying that we can't sign a couple of projects here and there as like a nice little addition, but in the main, we need to be looking at, minimum. This is before players leaving. Minimum 4 starters in the summer, I think, and as an absolute bare minimum. And then if players go, you might need to look at bringing in even more. So we'll see. We'll see, man. I'm hopeful. I'm confident. I'm not confident. I'm hopeful that we will do the correct thing. The players are out there. We have the budget, supposedly. We know exactly the areas we need to strengthen. There's no reason why we can't go out and do that. And if we don't do it, then I don't really know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. We can't keep missing out on our number 1 targets year after year after year. We need to actually bring them in this time round. It's been too long and not good enough.
Well, this is the thing about the 4 players. I agree, 4 players bare minimum.
Yes, exactly.
And then we need players then to replace players. The 4 positions that we need, in my opinion, is left back, right back, 8 creator. Yeah,
that's before players leave, obviously, because if Ederson goes, then
exactly. Then if goalkeeper leaves, Ederson leaves, replace Ederson. If Ortega leaves, replace that. You're up to 6 if both of your goalkeepers leave, by the way. Yes. And again, then 4 players need to be starting quality, which is like I'm a bit slightly concerned then on one hand that the right back that we appear to be signing is this Wesley guy from Brazil, because I'm getting mad mixed reviews on this guy. This guy's a 21-year-old, right, who's playing in Brazil, and I just look at that and go, that's not Kyle Walker, is it, from Spurs, what we bought 8 years ago? This is it seems to me like a bit of a project again. A 21-year-old that's played for Flamengo for a couple of years. I just look at that, bro, and I go, that doesn't tell me that we are going in the same direction as we did back in 17, 18 when you're going to go for someone like Wesley. And then I start to get a little bit concerned. I mean, how many games has this guy played for Flamengo? He's played 129 games. So he's played a fair few games, but he's 21. He's coming from Brazil. Like,
he sounds more like a backup right back than a starting right back.
So does that mean we're getting 5 players then? Are we going to sign an actual right back and then get this guy as a backup then?
Well, if we are signing this chap, again, maybe this is me being premature because I've not scouted Wesley yet, but it doesn't seem on the surface level anyway that he's a player that I'd want to be starting right back week in, week out for a side that wants to win the title. That sounds a bit concerning. How much of an improvement is that going to be on Nunes? Just like looking at Spartacus's comments there, how much better is he even going to be than Nunes out at right back? So our right back options are, if that happens, Nunes and Wesley. That doesn't fill me with much confidence. If Wesley did come in, and I would like to think we would sign another right back, then I wonder what that would mean for Nunes. Does it mean that we'd be looking to move him on? Does it mean we'd be looking to play him in a different position, different role? Because that would be very odd to then have 3 options potentially at right back. It's one of those, isn't it, where it's May, we don't have enough information yet. If Wesley's the only right back we bring in, then yeah, I'd be concerned. To be fair, I'd be concerned.
Yeah, because that doesn't look like. And by the way, guys, for people in the chat, Spartacus is Brazilian, isn't it? So he obviously watches Brazilian football. So he might be chatting shit, he might be wrong, but
now Spartacus knows what he's talking about. He knows his football.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I trust his judgment. Who else have we got to go off? We've got Spartacus, and he watches the football. This is what he's telling us. So this is what he's telling us. It doesn't fill me with confidence, does it? He's got no reason to play it down, He's got no reason to say he's shit if he's not shit. So we'll see, innit? Hopefully Spartacus is wrong, or hopefully the guy comes in and improves or whatever. But that we're speaking about, we need a 17-18 transfer window, and we need to replicate that. So far, that signing is not replicating it. You know what I mean? You go in a completely different option. And I've heard a couple of people say, they are a bit concerned that Viana may be too focused on finding the next big thing rather than just going out and getting the big thing, like right here and now. And I think that's, fair play with Tiki. I know he's come up with a lot of criticism recently, and he obviously deserves it. But back then, he was going out getting the big dogs, getting these legit players. And that's why we had such an amazing team, is because we bought good players. Yeah, I mean, we bought the Mahrezes, we bought Gundogan in, we brought these Walker in and Laporte in. We were buying the best players around, and that's why we won everything. Do you know what I mean? And that's a little bit of a concern. I'm hoping that it's at least just a blend, or maybe they just have legitimate full faith in this Wesley, like, you know what I mean? That maybe they believe that honestly he's the guy. But yeah, it's a little bit concerning. Who's the Walker replacement right now? Well, there's probably not one in the Premier League. I wouldn't say that Livramento is sort of like a Walker replacement, but obviously Livramento is good. You might have to look around Europe for it, but I'm pretty sure there'll be a top right back out there. You know what I mean? Yeah, Hakim is probably the Walker replacement, to be honest. Like, Hakim is a very, very good player. I'm not saying you can get him out of PSG, but he is probably that guy. But there's probably other ones. There's other right backs around Europe. There's definitely other right backs around Europe that you could go and get. So yeah, that's up to them. I thought that Munoz, man, I can't lie, I thought he cooked us. And I've seen him a few times this year, and I don't think I've ever seen him have a bad game. I think defensively he's pretty solid, looks all right. But going forward, he's fantastic. He's got pace. He's direct. He's powerful. His cross into the box was great. I think he's got like 8 or 9 assists, maybe even double-figure assists now for Palace this season as a right back. Yeah, he's a good player. Could you go and get him and then go and get Wesley as the backup, and sort of have you got your more experienced player, Ampram proven in Munoz, and then you've got your Wesley coming through? Maybe. I don't know, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. It looks like it's going to be this Wesley guy. So we'll have to see. He did play last night, by the way. If anyone can find any like compilations or video clips of him last night, he did play for Flamengo last night. I didn't realize it was on early. Usually them games are on at like 1 o'clock. I would have had it on when I was doing the panel show, but I didn't realize until it was like 5 minutes ago.
Did I see something on Twitter as well? I think you replied to it. Something like City wants a more defensive right back. Did I make that up, or is that something that I saw?
Apparently that is true. City are not looking at like a Frimpong style right back. They're looking at a more defensive right back.
What's that mean? A more defensive right back? Does that mean?
I think it probably means that one that
does it mean like a Kanji, for example, or?
I think it means one that goes into the middle rather than bombs forward and gets down the byline.
Right. Okay.
I assume that's what it means.
Yeah.
So or maybe they want like a right-sided centre back because maybe Pep wants to go to a 3 next year. So he's got Gvardiol, Diaz, and then a new right-sided centre back.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't trust Cousinov in there. You know what I mean? In that wide area, because you will have to go wide in that position. So maybe he wants another one of those.
Simakon, he's there in Saudi. He would have been good for that. He would have been good for that. He can play right. He normally plays centre back, but he can play right back and centre back. That would be good. He can also go up the pitch. But he's in Saudi now. He's playing with Laporte, so that hurts my heart. Who else could do that? Diakite from Lille probably do that as well. But again, he's young. Is he younger though? I don't even know how old he is anymore. He could technically do that as well, I suppose. Singo less so, but he could play centre back if needed as well. Yeah, there are a few options out there that I would rather pick over Wesley being our starter, basically, and that's just off the top of my head. I haven't properly looked into it yet. But yeah.
All right, then. Big up, man. Let's have a look at some of these chats. Make sure you guys are smashing these likes up as well, guys. Come on, over 750 people locked in. Let's get these likes up. Make sure you guys are subbed up to the channel as well if you're new. Is there any football on tonight, by
the way? Probably not.
Who the hell's watching Brighton Liverpool, man? Most pointless game.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that was a game.
Yeah.
The last day, if we win on Tuesday, this last day is actually going to be kind of hype for the top 5 because that Forest Chelsea game in particular is a literal top 5 decider.
Yeah, it's a top 5 decider.
Yeah, and if it's a draw, both of them probably don't get it.
If it's a draw, we can draw 2 games, I think, and go through on goal difference.
Well, let's not risk that. Let's just get the win. Let's just get the win tomorrow and then take it from there.
That's why we really need to win tomorrow, innit? Because if we win tomorrow, we can go to Fulham and just draw.
Yeah, and if we can't get 4 points, the start of that, before like the run that we went on, if you said, right, if you can get 4 points from your last 2 games, you'll finish 3rd. I think most of us would have taken that, wouldn't we? So we're in this position. It's a good position to be in. If we can't get 4 points from Bournemouth at home and Fulham away, then we don't deserve to be in the Champions League, and that's on us. So it's a good position to be in, or rather, it should be a good position to be in. We got an unexpected win against Villa. In my view, an unexpected win against Everton. It's upsetting we didn't get the win against Southampton, but net, the amount of points is still good. We should be able to get 4 points from these games.
That's actually so true. This could be so much worse because, I did not expect us to beat Villa, and to be honest, I wasn't that confident that we'd beat Everton.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So from a net perspective, I thought we would have had less points than what we're at now, to be honest, because I thought we were going to maybe draw against Villa, draw against Everton, and beat Southampton. So we've only dropped 2 when I thought we were going to drop 4. So in
that case, we would have needed to win our last 2 games.
Yeah. So it's from that perspective, it's not horrendous. Do you know what I mean? I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm trying to polish a turd here, but I'm just trying to say that it's a situation that a few weeks ago, month or so ago, we'd have gone, yep, happy with that. Let's go for it. So let's not despair. Let's just do the business. Sort it out.
Yeah. All right. Let's have a look at some of these chats, man. Shout out to Leo. Says, doesn't Nobbins know we're not on the beach yet? For the 2. Get out. Big up, Leo. Big up, Stop Online Hate, bro, with the 2. Says Foden, 50 GA next season. Hopefully.
50 would be mad.
Hopefully, bro. We'll be there. We'll be there. Big up, teammate. Big up to Andrew. Says, morning, lads. Nobbins, you fraud. Saying that Messi isn't ready. He is ready and hungry. No. We have watched him since the summer. Full send him to Moz up the 115 Blues. Andrew with the 5.
He's not ready.
I'd be interested. I don't know if I'd start him or not, but I'd definitely have him on the bench again to come off the bench because I think he provides energy and gets into dangerous areas and always looks to go forward. I'm not sure if I'm ready to full send him in the starting 11 yet, which is what I've been saying for ages. But I want him involved, and that's all I wanted. You know what I mean? And he was a positive when he come on. 100%. He improved us, in my opinion, when he come on against against Palace. So
yeah, it was better than Marmoush, no doubt.
Yeah, so get him on the bench. Whether he's ready to start tomorrow, I'm not sure about that. I think that's a big call, but definitely have him on the bench and definitely, have him ready to come on if we need a goal. You know what I mean? So hopefully Pep's seeing the light, you know what I mean, and has him as part of the squad, bro. But yeah, big up Andrew, man. Big up Chris, who says Jed Spence is decent, homegrown too. And he's lost his place, hasn't he?
He also terrorized us when we played them. Like, if you remember that, like he destroyed us. So
this guy though, this guy can play left back and right back as well, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I was under the impression he was a right back, but against us, he played left back and destroyed our right side. So
no,
I guess
I always
he
thought he was a left back, mate. I always thought he was a left back.
Maybe I'm just an idiot then. I always thought he was a right back.
Let's have a look how many games he's played. Like different.
I thought he was a right back at Borough.
Oh no, he's played most of his games at right back.
Yeah, I thought so. Because I had. Did I have him in FM when I did Borough? I can't remember. Maybe he left when I started that save. Yeah, I always thought he was a right back.
Yeah, he is. He's played most of his games as a right back, but this season he's played most of his games as a left back.
Yeah.
Again, that's probably a good sign. Maybe you could take a look at him, but I don't know. Again, like, is he at the level that we need? Like, he's 24 years old now.
Yeah.
He'll be 25 in the summer.
I think he's a Spurs player.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Spurs player.
I'm probably with you on that one. I think he's like not quite at the level, and I don't know if he's got that jump. So with that Ait Nouri, we spoke a lot about Ait Nouri recently, in that he's already a good left back, like pretty impressive left back. He's got great attacking numbers, but he's only 23. So if he's doing this at 23, like, I think there's a lot more to come from Ait Nouri if you can get him in a good team and get him under a good coach. Jed Spence, I'm looking at him thinking, I don't know if he's already at the same level as Ait Nouri. Don't think he is, in my opinion. So he has to get to that level and then kick on top of that as well. I just think, and he's 2 years older than Ait Nouri as well. So I'm thinking I'd rather get Ait Nouri, if I'm being honest, in my personal opinion. Which I think we are being linked with him, actually. I'm pretty sure that we got linked with Ait Nouri. Yesterday or 2 days ago.
Sorry, it's Andrew in the chat. Yes, I know you were joking, mate. Don't worry, it's fine. When you call me a fraud, it's fine. I get it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have been linked with Ait Nouri. We got linked with him yesterday or something.
No.
I swear we got linked with him.
IDK.
Oh yeah, we did. Mike McGrath. Man City will be in competition to sign Wolves left back Ryan Ait Nouri. That was yesterday.
So, and this is why, because I thought we were all in on Cambiasso. So, does that mean that we are signing Cambiasso to play at right back?
Potentially. He can play both positions, Cambiasso. So, if you sign Cambiasso and Ait Nouri, you've got two left backs. Well, more than that, because you've got Gvardiol, Ake, Nico O'Reilly. So you're stacked at left back. Right back, would Cambiasso be your starting right back? Potentially. And then you've still got Nunes, Akanji as your backup. So a bit of a drop off, but
wouldn't be ideal. I'd still rather a right back at right back.
I'd still rather a right back at right back.
Again, I like the option of having him there because he can do different things there. There's nothing wrong with that, but I still want my right back to be a right back.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Hot take.
Yeah. I don't know about you yet. I don't know what you guys in the chat say yet, but I'm kind of like sick and tired of like winging it. You know what I mean? Like play a attacking midfielder at left back, play a midfielder at right back. Bro, like this club's not had a proper left back for fucking 7 years. You know what I mean? Like I'm kind of just like, bro, please just buy players for their actual position. Yeah, stop. Why are we winging it, man? And obviously, people will say, "Well, it's worked because we've won four titles in a row." I'm not saying that it's not worked. I'm saying that doesn't make it right. Do you know what I mean? Like, just because something worked doesn't mean that it was right. It means that you got away with it. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's right. You know, is Manchester City an elite level football club? Was playing Delph at fullback the right thing to do? Well, we won the league, so some people say, yeah. But you could say we won the league in spite of him playing there.
It's also out of necessity as well.
It's also out of necessity. It's the same when Zinchenko played there. Like, yes, we won the league, but does that mean that it was the right thing to do? I don't think so. Sometimes in life, just because something worked doesn't mean that you did it the correct way, you know? Just means that it fucking worked. You got away with it. So, yeah, I would personally like to see the football club get a left back at left back and right back at right back. That would be pretty good. Do you know what I mean? So
and there's nothing wrong with the left back being able to play right back sometimes and vice versa. There's nothing wrong with signing players who are fluid, but I don't want that should be like a plan B thing rather than, oh, you can do that position, therefore I'm going to give you a go there. I'd rather players be played in their best positions rather than be thrown around everywhere just because they can do a job there. Again, there's nothing wrong with signing hybrids, versatile players. In fact, in a Guardiola side, it's a necessity because it's just how Pep likes things to be done. Nothing wrong with that, but that can't be the starting point. Let's, in the first instance, get the best players in their best positions. And if you need to rotate or if someone gets injured, and then you can fluidly replace them like that.
No, I hear it, man. I hear it. Cancelo was a right back initially. Yeah, he was.
Indeed.
He was. But at least he was a fullback. So that was it. You know, you've got playing attacking midfielders and midfielders at fullback down here. Yeah. Then you've got playing a right back at left back there, and then you've got, you know, the creme de la creme that only some clubs have, which is playing a left back at left back and a right back at right back. At least Cancelo was in the middle. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't like a midfielder playing at bloody at left back or whatever it was. So yeah, that's where you are with that one. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Yeah, there's a question here as well. Would you take, just a quick one, yeah? Would you take Sane back on a free?
No.
I would, me.
Why?
I'll tell you why. Because
tell me.
If we have, like, this club obviously does not have like unlimited budget, right? I kind of get that, yeah. We have like a budget and we have got to spend a lot of it on fullbacks, midfields, goalkeepers. If the budget doesn't stretch that far, you can get a better winger than all our wingers. I would rather get a new winger, you know, spend actual real money. But if the option is stick with our current wingers and sign no one or get Sane back on a free, I'd get Sane back on a free.
Oh, there's a very generous person in the chat.
Oh, fucking hell. HSK, man. What the hell? Yo, bro, big up, man, for the $100. He said in Pep and Karl we trust City till I die. What the hell, man? Oh, guys, get some W's in this chat, bro. Get this W's in this chat. HSK, I've not seen you for ages, man. Big up to you. Appreciate the $100.
Mad.
that's he's just not wrote anything apart from in Pep and Karl we trust City till I die. He's just coming in with the straight facts.
What a boy.
Yo, what a guy, man. Big up to you, man. I appreciate that, HSK. Big up to you. W's in this chat, guys. HSK is our new fullback. Can you play fullback? He can do a
job. Bro? Yeah, he can do a job.
Can you play right back on? Nah. Nah, it's crazy. Nah, big up to you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. Would you take Sane back, HSK? Now the reason why I'm talking about the Sane situation, yeah, is because, like I say, if we've got like $250 million or $300 million, not dollars, sorry, the fucking super chat.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
250 million quid or 300 million quid, and we sign into Reijnders, we get another midfielder, we get a left back, we get a right back, we get a goalkeeper, we get a backup goalkeeper, we sign 6 players, yeah, and we don't have any money back. And the option on the table is we go again with Doku, Savio, and Bob, and obviously like your other sort of wingers like your Fodens and Mamouche, but you can bring in Sane on a free. I just take it.
But why?
Because I don't rate our wingers, me.
But is Sane even that guy anymore, though? I'm not being funny. Isn't he like sort of done?
I don't know if he's done, man. Like
maybe done's harsh, but he's not the player he once was.
Yeah, I definitely think. I don't think he's the player he once was, and I don't think like he's managed to kick on. You know what I'm saying? But
didn't that injury also like destroy his pace or something?
Yeah, but he's still got 19 GA in 2,300 minutes this year. I know GA is not the be all and end all, but he still scored and consisted more.
Why are Bayern letting him go then? What's going on?
They're not. They've offered him a contract.
Ah,
but he's not.
Why is he not accepting it then?
Because he wants a bigger sign-on bonus, and Bayern are saying no.
Right. So this sounds like we're going to be sinking a lot of money from a signing on fee, and one assumes wages into a player with past injury troubles and who is also a bit past it, question mark. This does not seem like a good allocation of resources.
Come on, bro. Get with the program, man.
No.
Sane back.
No.
Hashtag Sane back.
Stop.
Should I do a poll in the chat?
The chat will say yes because it's a romantic signing.
Nah. The chat don't do the romance, man. The chat don't do the romance, man. Yeah, I've always said, man, I'm a football romantic, man. You know what I mean? I struggle with these sort of deals because I'm always like, when Gundogan was signing for City, mate, I was like, yeah, Gundogan. You know what I mean? Gundo back, hashtag Gundo back, got a shirt, you know what I mean? With Gundo on the back. I love it. I love the football romance. I am guilty. Yeah, I'm guilty of that. Yeah.
That's fast.
And I struggle to turn these deals down, innit? Because I love this sort of stuff, man. But yeah, I've done a poll in the chat anyway, chat, yeah? Hashtag Sane back, yes or no. Vote in the poll in the live chat. Don't cost you anything to vote. Let's see what people are saying. I don't know. I'm going to guess. I think it's going to be close. I'm going to go, people are going to say 60% yes, 40% no.
How old is Sane?
29.
Right. And he's going to want like a 5-year contract, isn't he?
I don't know. He might be able to give him a 4-year contract.
You're 29. He wants like that one last big contract. He's going to also, one assumes, wants to be one of the highest paid players at City.
Potentially.
Right. So now we're talking about wages where he needs to start the vast majority of games.
He might go on 250. Those wages. He might accept 250k, right?
Yeah, but it's wages where it's like he needs to be starting the vast majority of league games.
Yeah, maybe.
Right. Yeah. So, nah, that can't happen. That would be insane. No. There's too many no's.
I can't convince you, can I? At all?
No, there's way too many. I love Leroy. I love what Leroy was, but I think that's the key. Was the past tense.
He should never have left, man.
Well, Trent should never have injured him.
Yeah, facts. But he should never have left. Him leaving, mate. Like, it's just not worked out, is it? I think, yeah, if you say to him now, yeah, off the record, do you regret leaving City? I reckon he says, yeah.
Yeah,
not even like gassing my own club, I genuinely think he
peaked at 20. Was he 20 years old?
Yeah, I guess so.
When he had that insane year, or 2 insane years, sorry, 2021. Obviously got injured, and then I'm sure the injury couldn't have helped. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad, but that was then. And that's what, and again, it's what Leroy was. He was a great player for those 2 seasons, but that is it for me.
Wow, the timing on this is insane. What the hell?
What is Romano done? Here we go, Sane to City.
Internally, Bayern expect that there will be no changes on Leroy Sane's situation. He will leave the club on a free transfer. Sane and Zahavi are unlikely to back down from their demands, while Bayern will remain firm and won't present a higher offer. That's mad timing, by the way. That's literally just been tweeted now. That's weird.
Yeah. So their demands. So we're talking about. So they're not paying his wages. They're not paying his signing on fee. Did you say as well? Yeah. So that means we'd have to. This idea that he's a free transfer, that is a fraudulent way to describe it, because it's not free at all. If you're having to pay
fraudulent.
Millions well, it is, though, isn't it? Because it's false. It's pretending to be something it isn't. It is a charlatan term, because it's not free, is it? It is however much money, however many millions. Do we have like a rough estimate? I don't know the context of the signing on fee. Are we talking about 5 million? Or we're talking about 20 million? Whatever it's, if anyone knows, please let me know. But whatever it is, it's not a free transfer at all. It is a massive signing on fee for a 29-year-old who is past his best, with a history of injury issues, who would also, one assumes, want to be one of the highest earners, and would also, one assumes, would want to be starting the vast majority of games. That just doesn't make sense to me.
You are not sold on this one little bit, are you?
And I didn't even realize it was a possibility, to be fair. I'm just, yeah. It didn't even come into my brain as a possibility.
What do you think of our wingers? Do you think we can get away with one more year if we reinvest in the wing backs and the midfield, or do you think that it's a major issue that needs to be sort of looked at now? Do you think Khaldoon, Viana, Tiki need to look at the wingers, or do you think that we've got enough with Bob coming back for one more year.
It's definitely not something that can be entertained this summer because it's about allocation of resources. And we've just outlined throughout this show and through many shows that there are so many weak areas of this team that needs to be addressed. We can't even contemplate talking about improving the wide areas because the players that we are, this conceptual play we're talking about is going to cost more than Marmoush did or there or thereabouts. So we're talking about a lot of money. We don't have the resources to allocate for that right now. Maybe it's something that could be entertained next summer, depending on how we do. But what it will be, I think everyone will be taken aback at just how transformative bringing in a proper left back and a proper right back will do for us in respect of actually having some width on the pitch and supporting the likes of Doku and Savio if we go for both of them as well. Let's do that first of all. Let's also wait to see what happens when Bob returns as well. I like Savio, I like Doku, and also Marmoush as well. I think that Marmoush, I know he's not a technical winger, but from a Guardiola perspective, with a proper left back coming in, he would technically be that left winger. So I don't think it's certainly not a problem that needs to be immediately addressed. It might not even be need to addressed long term, depending on how the fullback signings go.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with it.
I am not really liking our wingers at the moment, but I also hear that we might not be able to get that winger this summer because, like, if we're signing a winger, the next winger we sign, is a fucking baller, mate, like a Kvaratskhelia, like this sort of guy, like maybe not Rafinha, I don't know if he's out that winger, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I don't want no project winger,
No.
Yeah, I've got my project wingers. So if we're getting a legit winger, it's going to cost upwards of 60 million quid. And that's why I've said you might have to wait till 2026 for that one. Yeah, I don't like that Leao guy, AC Milan, man. I've never seen this guy have a single good game, bro. I think he's a bit of an overrated player. So yeah, I think that if you start your midfield out, you sort your wing backs out. Yeah, maybe get one more midfielder, maybe get 3 midfielders and 2 wingers. Wing backs, I don't know. I think you can get away with Savio, Doku, Bob, and then your other wingers who are not typical wingers, like your Fodens and your Marmoushes. Yeah, I think you can get away with that, right? But if we have a problem next year on that wing, or not even necessarily a problem, if Doku doesn't kick on and still can't connect with Haaland as a winger, because he's not been able to do that now for 2 years, if Savio doesn't kick on, and if Bob, obviously, well, to be honest, if 2 out of the 3 don't kick on next year, out of all 3 of those players, you have to buy a winger next year. You absolutely must go in the market next year and buy one.
Just sorry to interrupt, what do you mean by kick on? Because Savio's played well this year.
Yeah, but he's nowhere near the standard that we need him to be, has he?
No, but he's 21.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, he needs to develop, so he needs to get better next year.
Yeah,
if he plays this next year, that's not great, is it?
I think he will improve, but I think his creation this season has been great.
I think he's been okay. Yeah, I think he's been okay, but he is not at the level that we need to win Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues right now. Would you agree with that?
Well, right now, yes, I would agree with that. But again, I think he joined the club at 20. He's now 21, I believe. He's been our most creative player this season. I'm pretty sure. Maybe De Bruyne on a per 90 basis, to be fair. But overall, I think it is Savio. He needs to get better in front of goal, no doubt there, obviously. But I'm not ready to sack him off yet.
No, mine. But that's literally what I'm saying. I'm saying if he doesn't get better next year,
sure. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah,
because that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm not signing a winger now. I'm signing one in 2026. If 2 out of those players don't kick on, and by kick on, that doesn't mean they're shit. Yeah, I'm saying that, like, I think Savio's played all right this year. Yeah, I think Doku's done okay, but they both need to improve massively at different areas of the game. If we end up next year and Savio's got 1 goal again in the Premier League, that's a major issue. If we get to the end of next season and Doku still is unable to assist Haaland, that's a major issue. If we get to the end of next year and Bob just can't stay fit, we've got issues there. So I think all 3 of them have got major promise. Yeah, of course they've got major promise. Like, they're project players and they wouldn't be at Manchester City in our squad if they've not got promise. They've all got promise in their respective ways. You've got Doku, who is 1v1 on a take on one of the best players I've ever seen in my life, like taking players on, but his end product isn't working right now for various different reasons with Haaland. He cannot assist Haaland for love or money. You've got Savio, who, as you say, has had a decent first year, is extremely young, but still has massive areas of improvement, mainly for me to do with his finishing. Yeah, and consistency, which will come with age. But again, that's one of the problems when you have project players, they're inconsistent. And then you got Bob, who just can't stay fit, but was our best player in pre-season last year. And if he can play like that again, going into next season and stay fit, you've got a brilliant player there. The problem when you've got young players, is they don't always develop in that way. And sometimes players don't get that. Sometimes they just get to a level and just stay there. Sometimes they won't get that level of consistency. And that's why it's a little bit of a problem when all three of your wingers are all project players, because you've got no one that you can rely on week in, week out, week in, week out. Like when you had Mahrez, like when you had Grealish in the treble year, every game, just good. Mahrez, good. Why? Because it's experience, man. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I think we've got a little bit wrong. But I think because you've got Marmoush, who can play left wing and sort of tuck in. You've got Foden, who can play left wing and tuck in, right wing and tuck in. Obviously, we need Foden to get back to his best and get his form back. If you can, I think that's why I think you can get away with it for one more year, because you've got those two players who are experienced in Foden and Marmoush. And that's why I don't think we're desperate. If the cash is there, then yeah, I'm down for it. Go and get me a winger. Yeah, if the cash is available. I just don't know if it's going to be available with everything else that needs to be done. And I think as well, it gives us another year to look at the market and see who's available, who's the guy. Do you know what I mean? Are you available? You know, one more year. Because at the moment, I'm looking around and going, well, okay, let's say, for example, right, the money was available this summer to go and get a winger. Who would we get? Rodrigo? Well, Rodrigo splits the fan base. You know what I mean? Some people say go and get him is amazing. Some people say he's shit. Who else is out there, realistically, that we could go and get right now?
Nico Williams.
I don't rate him.
Fast.
So he splits the fan base. You know what I mean? There's Baena is going to Atletico Madrid, but some people see him more of a central midfielder. You got Mbeumo. Shout out Ryan. I'll come to Super Chat in a sec, bro. You got Mbeumo, who can play right wing, great player, got great GNA for Brentford, but is he at the level of City? Can he go up another gear? People saying Trincao, we have been linked with him a couple of times. People tell me he's flopped at different clubs. So I just think if Barcola, I think he's a little bit overrated, if I'm being completely honest with you. I don't know about his GNA situation. This is why I just think that as much as I'm not a massive fan of our wingers right now, I think I'd just give it one more year, because we've got enough with Marmoush and Foden, and then go to 2026, go get a big dog.
Yeah, and just let's wait to see what happens, how these and let's wait to see how these wingers play when they have actual fullbacks to connect with as well.
Very good point.
Because how many times I know Doku and Savio are brilliant 1v1, obviously, but quite often they aren't just 1v1, are they? They're 1v2 or 1v3, or in Doku's case, sometimes 1v4, and he's on his own. Now, again, this isn't me having a go at Gvardiol or whoever's on that right side. They aren't really getting up to supports because it's not in their nature, because they aren't a fullback. Now what, again, just using the Doku example, and now what happens if Doku gets in that position and all of a sudden Cambiasso is surging down that left side, providing that overlapping option? It means that either Doku can play it to him and Cambiasso can pop in the cross for Haaland to attack, or it means that one of those players gets dragged out by Cambiasso's run. Now Doku's 1v1, and now we can take him on the inside. So that's what I would also do. Let's wait to see how these wingers play with the correct support network around them, because they're in very non-optimal surroundings and a very non-optimized environment right now. Let's wait on that. And again, and then I will be with you again, because that'll be Doku's, just sticking with Doku as the example, that would be Doku's third season. And if we're still sort of seeing the same bad things from him, not enough good things, even with the right environment, then I think it could be a conversation to be had. But until that happens, I think we need to just wait and see, basically. Just focus on the fullbacks first of all, before throwing our wingers away or casting them aside and looking at a new winger. That's where I'm at with it. Focus on the fullbacks first.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that point because, and I think as well when it comes to Savio, not so much Doku because Doku was here last year when the team was better. Yeah, still had problems last year, but he was here. Savio is playing in a shit team right now and has done okay. I wouldn't say any. I personally wouldn't say he's done great. Yeah, I wouldn't say he's done bad. I think he's done okay. Like he's met the expectation of on a first year, right? If you put him in,
Nah, sorry, I'm going to disagree. I think he's
what do
exceeded
you think?
expectation. I think he's been good.
I don't think he's exceeded. You think it's exceeded expectation? I can't say he's exceeded expectation.
Did you expect him to create as much as he has done?
I don't think he's created like a great deal. I
Has he
think he's
not?
created a bit. No, I think he's created a bit. I don't sit here now and go, he's created way more than I expected him to create.
Isn't he statistically our best creator though?
He might be, but I don't. But that's just because I think we're trash. I don't sit here now and go, I think he's created way more than I expected him to create at the start of the season, and his finishing in front of goal is drastically.
No, I will say the finishing is worse than I thought it was going to be. To be fair, I will accept that, but I think he's been. I think we're being harsh on Sal. I think he's been good.
I think he's been just okay. I think he's been okay. I think he's been like met expectation. But that in itself is a good point because if he's met expectation, let's take my example. If he's met expectation in a shit team, yeah, in a team that's been horrific, in a team where the manager's got a lot of stuff wrong, I think that is a positive sign in itself. Now, if you're right, and I don't think you are, but you think you're right, let's go for your example. If you're right and you think he's done better than expectations in a shit team where things have been going horrifically wrong, where the tactics have been bad, the players have been bad, that's even better because that means next year with a better team, better players around him, and obviously hopefully the morale and the mood around everyone will be better going into a brand new season where this season's been horrendous. Hopefully he can kick on and smash it, which is why I still invest my stocks into Savio. I still have heavy investment into the Savio stocks, man, because I feel that like I do think there's a player in there and I think he's done decent this year. I think he's done okay this year. I think get him in a better team next season. Another year, so he's had 1 full year in the Premier League. He's more settled. He's learnt the language more. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, I think next year he could cook, and then the year after, I think that if things are going the way that we want them to go, I think he should be one of the best wingers in world football, or certainly approaching that stance in the 2026-2027 season. So yeah, with Doku it's slightly different, man, because I feel that with Doku it's not necessarily a settling in or whatever. I feel that like. It's more. I feel that like at the moment he looks incompatible with the way that we play and with the setup of the team, which is why I really feel that like next season, I think is a make or break year for Doku, because I think if he doesn't kick on next year and slam it, that's his 3rd season. I think at that point you've got to be looking at it going, is this going to work? And just before the Doku stands start going sick in the chat, I've said many times I do not think this is a Doku issue. I think part of it is, yeah, but I think a large part of it is the coaching. I do not think we play to Doku's strengths one little bit, in my personal opinion. No near post runners, and that's where we're hoping that Morgan Gibbs-White can come in and help, because you expect Morgan Gibbs-White to be making those runs, getting forward and getting himself into that box and getting him into the near post, and hopefully then Doku can cook. There's no doubt about Doku yet. If we can connect Doku to Manchester City players in the penalty area, we're cleaning the league up.
Easy goals.
We're cleaning it up because he gets past play. How many times did he get past Munoz? Munoz is a good defender. Yeah, he's a good player. He got past him so many times. We just can't connect him to a Manchester City player. And that is where, for me, that is, if I was Pep Guardiola, yeah, I'd spend so much time this summer working that out, because like Robin says, if you can connect him, it's easy goals. It's easy goals because he's taking a player on. He's getting past his fullback 5 times a game minimum, would you say?
Yeah, easy.
If he plays 90 minutes?
Yeah, definitely.
That's 5 crossing opportunities. If you can connect even just 2 of them, you're getting 2 shots on goals per game just off Doku. Ignore Wirtz if we get him. He's creating a couple more. Ignore Morgan Gibbs-White. Ignore Reijnders. Ignore your right winger. Ignore your fullbacks. Yeah? They're all creating chances as well, hopefully. You're getting minimum 2. At the moment, realistically, we're getting none. And that's why, for me, it's a huge thing. I think next year's a massive, massive year for Jeremy Doku and his future. Let me finish these super chats off, man. Yeah, big up HSK again for that big donation before. Shout out to Stick. Says, I think he's planning for Cambiasso and Wesley for right back. Nico, Riley, Ake, Gavadio, left back options. Don't agree, but seems to be their plan, says Stick. I guess if you are going to do this, right, and Wesley does turn out to be decent, then you can just stick Cambiasso at left back as well.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows? Maybe Wesley's a lot better than we think.
Yeah.
That's the best case scenario, isn't it?
That is best case scenario. I mean, the rumours are, bro, that they're going to spend like 35, 40 million on him.
Yeah, it's not really a fee that you throw away arbitrarily, is it? That's like,
No.
We consider you to be quite good at the football.
Yeah, you don't spend at the football, yeah. You don't spend 35, 40 million on a defender of 21 and loan him out or whatever. Like that is number one. And I guess he is experienced, man. Obviously playing in Brazil. He's played 129 times for Brazil. He's been capped for Brazil twice. He can't be that shit.
Oh, no, I'm sure it's not going to be shit, is it? It's just whether he's good enough to start for a City side that wants to win the title. He's obviously not going to be shit.
Have you watched the comps?
Yeah.
I watched the comps, man. He did. Funny enough, he did actually remind me of Walker in it, but like,
which version?
Which version?
Yeah.
The 2025, the 2024, 2025 version.
Oh God.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Now, he reminded me of him in the way that he plays, in that, like, he didn't look like he had much of a left foot. So every time he drove into the midfield, he passed it backwards instead of like going forwards because he couldn't like play the ball forward. He looked quite strong. He looked like quite tall player, quite strong in the challenge. I thought he looked okay, but like, you know, I don't know. It's difficult. It's these compilations, man. Sometimes it can be difficult to work out how good a player. Like I watched Reijnders on the comp, and I was like, this guy's a baller. I know this guy's a baller, mate. This guy's going to ball out for us, yeah. But Wesley was a bit more tricky.
Yeah. Shout
out to Makashi, Sane, free for the wing. Well, that question's been answered. The poll, by the way, Mukesh. Sane back, yes or no? 61% of people in the chat are saying no, and 39% of people are saying yes. So
it's more yeses than I thought.
Nobbins has sold it. You know, Nobbins wins, I lose. I did not convince the chat to get hashtag Sane back. Nico G and Etche Messi. I don't think either will play tomorrow, mate. To be honest with you, Nico G seems out of favour with Pep at the moment for some whatever reason that is. Shout out to Revi, is it? Or Revi? I don't know how you say that, but big up to you, mate. Says LB Wesley, man of the match last night, rated as the star player. Good. Yeah,
lovely.
Great news.
Yeah, sounds good.
That is positive. See how he gets on, man. But yeah, I definitely think we're going to get him. Shout out to JS, says don't lose the ball because of the counter. We'll probably lose the ball on the counter, but we'll score more. Stop the obsession with control, says JS. I do think that like we need to loosen the chains a little bit, you know, when we're going forward. It's a little bit too, you know, too stagnant, a little bit too slow, a little bit too controlled. And people will say, well, we won the treble with control. We won the treble with control with better players. That's the truth. Now we've got worse players. This control thing ain't working. So I think you need to just let it be free a little bit more. I do think there's a balance to be had here. But yeah, you do. I do think that like we need to start utilizing the transitional better, because as well, you've got Haaland, by the way, who plays really great stuff on the transition. He can get in behind the defense. He's got the pace to do it, and we never really utilize it. And funny enough, yeah, the handball decision, which should have been a red card. Did you think that should have been a red card as well?
It was a red card, yeah. There's no think about it. It just was.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, that came from a long ball on the transition. We had the ball. Palace were further up than they usually were. We played the ball in behind, and it should have been a sending off. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I do think we need to utilize that a lot more. JS, I think you're right, mate. I don't want to like just go full ham and like go full transition. I do think like the fundamentals of this team is controlling the ball, dominating the ball, and then having the quality to unlock the defense, which is what we did in the treble year. But there's no harm with a couple of times using that transitional weapon to catch out the opposition.
Yeah, and I think we will get better at that when we get an actual midfield that can function, you know, when Rodri comes back. Because right now, our players are scared to play those balls into our advanced players and play on and try to play that, you know, basketball, football, whatever you want to call it, because we know that we will always come second best in our form right now because we don't have any proper midfield. So that's why we can't play right like that this season. That's why it's got worse from a boring control perspective this season, and why it had to actually in that winning run because we know that if it turns into that, we are going to lose that battle 9 times out of 10 because we don't have the facilities for that right now. That's why the summer's so important.
Yeah. Nah, facts. So let's finish off these chats before we wrap it up. Shout out to Ryan. Says, nah, Brett and Mbeumo hype train. And Mbeumo's a weird one, bro. I can't lie because he has got good numbers. He's a good player. I think he's only like 25 or 26 as well, so he's not even that old. But
Good player.
I don't know, man. Yeah. Maybe there's just a little bit of snobbery in me that I'm like, he's at Brentford. Is he really that good? I don't know. You know, I think if you could get him out for a decent price, it might be worth a gamble, but I'm not sure. I just don't know. I don't know. It's a tricky one. But I wouldn't argue with you. If you said LBI or Mbeumo, I wouldn't be sitting here saying you're an idiot. Like, Fairs, he's a good player, man. But I just don't know whether he's got that elite level jump, you know?
Yeah.
Shout out to Spartacus. He says, when Savio's 1v1 or 1v2, he can create, as he's proved plenty of times. But without an overlapping fullback, he's constantly 1v4, which forces him to pass back most of the time. He isn't set up to do well. I think that's the same with all our wingers, though. And I've mentioned this last night, and the example that I always come back to is Sami Nasri under Mancini. He used to have Kolarov bombing past him all the time, and Sami Nasri used to get 2v1'd, on the left-hand side, and then Kolarov would run past him. The defender, they'd either stick with Nasri, in which case Nasri's got a simple little pass down the channel, and Kolarov's got a free area to cross the ball, or one of the defenders who was marking Nasri would go with Kolarov, leaving a 1v1 opportunity. And that happened time and time again. And we used to, under Mancini, that was like one of the fundamental plays that we did. You know, we used to see Zabaleta. We used to see Richards. We used to see Kolarov.
We didn't play wingers. We didn't play wingers. We had David Silva and Nasri as our technical wingers, really. Sometimes he or shall not be named. But for the most part, it was Nasri and David Silva as our wingers.
Yeah, and then you just slot Sam. How many assists did Zabaleta get just running past the probably David Silva or whatever? David Silva played it into Zabaleta or Richards. They cut it back, goal.
Exactly.
But we don't do that anymore because we have fullbacks, and that's why Nunes should have played, because Nunes in the last month or so has given us that exact thing, and he's given us against Everton when he went forward, and that was a Mancini style goal. Bernardo Silva had the ball on the right. Nunes overlapped him. Bernardo fed it into Nunes. Nunes puts it back. O'Reilly goal. Yeah, and like Nunes getting forward for the Villa goal, you know, and then he drops in for the final, which is for me a bit weird. All right, final one. Big up for these donations. Sorry delays. Ash says Wesley can't defend or cross, fit right, pacey. Wesley can't defend or cross. What does that fit right mean? It means he doesn't fit into our team.
Doesn't fit into the sides, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I've not seen him, bro. To be honest with you, I've only seen a comp. Man, I might do a comp reaction to it. I'm not sure. Oh, fit right in.
Fit right in.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see, but we definitely get him anyway. So hopefully you're wrong on that, Ash. You know what I mean? Hopefully he is good. Make sure you guys are smashing up these likes as well. All right, Embry. Anything else that you wanted to touch on?
There
was one question actually I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
What was it now? Oh yeah, Reijnders. Have you seen much of Reijnders?
I've seen enough of him to know that he comes in and immediately starts, and immediately he and Rodri immediately probably go into the best midfield in the Premier League. Yeah. That's a great. I'm very excited at that signing.
Yeah,
that is.
I am as well. I think it's going to be a good signing. I was just wondering if you'd seen much of it as well. I've seen his through ball stats. He likes to play the ball in behind, doesn't he? So again, that's something that we need. You know what I mean? Because I keep going back to this Paqueta thing, but you look at Paqueta, Paqueta was up there in the Premier League that year that we tried signing him. He was up there. I think he was in top 5 players in the Premier League for through balls, which is what we need for Haaland. Yeah, and then we didn't get him because of the gambling charges, and then we went and got Nunes, who was a completely different style of player to Paqueta. So it seems like with Reijnders is going back more into the more, obviously not the same as Paqueta, but like more of like I'll play you the ball in behind. Whereas Nunes is what? Nunes is a ball carrier, right? But you don't want ball carrier if you want to try to play the ball in behind for Haaland, do you? You want a passer. So that's why I think Reijnders will come in, and it looks like it's quite cheap, 50 million.
Yeah, the fees being quoted are pretty insignificant relative to the player that he is and how much he improves City. It's a bit insane. I'd buy 2.
2.
Yeah,
2
for that price. I'll buy him twice.
Oh, No,
I'll
it is a good price. And I think if you get him and Gibbs White, yeah, I think that is interesting because Gibbs White likes to play the ball as well. Gibbs White's a passer. You know what I mean? So I think that is decent. Oh, edit the Echeverry video. Release the Echeverry video. Release the Echeverry video.
I will. Well, Pep's had to make me re-record it. I will release it in between the Bournemouth and Fulham games. I'm not in a rush.
He's making us fucking sweat, chat. You know what I'm saying?
Your viewers will not like the video. FYI.
No, my viewers are very balanced and will watch the video with open eyes, and an open mind.
I don't like it.
And upon conclusion of the video, form their own opinions and conclusions. And then straight to the comments to slag numbers off.
Yeah, dislike immediately.
All right then, big up guys. Yeah, I think Pep's going to do his press conference in about an hour as well. So maybe keep your eye out on that chat, see what he's saying. There was a little bit about Danny Olmo again from Satcher this morning, saying City are considering Danny Olmo as an alternative to Florian Wirtz, which is wild considering he's not played more than 1,600 minutes in the last 3 years, I think it is. Especially when Pep said he wants a player that can play every 3 days. So I doubt that is true, but maybe it is. Yeah. I don't know.
Injury record is looking pretty clapped.
Yeah, it's a dead injury record. Other than that, I don't really think there's much more. I've just gone through City Extra. There's not really much more there. The bid apparently for Tijani Reijnders is going in this week. There are a couple of rumours saying we've already put one in that's got rejected, but it definitely seems like City are trying to get that deal done before the Club World Cup. Wesley looks like it's advancing as well. Expect to see some news on that maybe this week as well. And of course, will we see something on Florian Wirtz this week? Do you know what I mean? Their season's over now. The Bundesliga is completely over. So I guess that Leverkusen now are probably going to be pushing Wirtz to make a decision because they don't want this to drag on. So I don't know. Yeah, let's see if we hear anything this week. But
could be very exciting next few weeks.
Thatcher said City are convinced about Wirtz. We'll see, innit?
What, convinced of him as a player or convinced that they're getting him?
No, this must be convinced we're getting him because obviously we're convinced about the player if we're going to spend 120 million on him. This must be we're convinced that we're getting him. There was something that came out before on do you know the Bayer Leverkusen like City Extra basically?
Okay.
The Werkself or whatever that said Bayern Munich are now starting to believe that they are not the first choice, and then it's either City or Liverpool. And that's the first time that we've seen anything like that come out of the German media. It's always been Bayern feel like they're getting him, Bayern feel like they're getting him, Bayern number one, Bayern. And now today, or it might be last night, yeah, that's the first time I've seen anything come out of Germany which suggests that Bayern don't feel that they are number one target. Like the number one choice.
I guess it goes to show how up in the air this all is and how not even Wirtz knows what he wants right now. He hasn't made a decision. So this is all speculation. The clubs can think what they want, but it sounds like, given all these conflicting reports and information, it sounds like Wirtz himself doesn't fully know what he wants yet. Otherwise, I'm sure it would have been made more apparent if he was dead certain. Definitely. And who knows, maybe part of that is informed by the fact that we might not even get Champions League football.
Well,
maybe there you go. Maybe he's waiting to go, right, well, I can't even entertain City as an option if they don't get Champions League. So I'm going to wait to see and then properly assess it. Maybe that's also playing a part. And it should be, I'm sure that he's being advised by smart people. That would be the correct thing to do. You shouldn't commit your future to someone where, are you even going to be playing in the top competition I want to be competing in? So that would make sense for him to wait.
Yeah, I agree. I'm starting to feel, and again, maybe it's a little bit of Manchester City goggles on here, but I'm starting to feel that he's waiting to see if we get Champions League.
That would make sense.
Unless he's legitimately just not decided, in which case, just don't think that.
It could be both, though, couldn't it? It could be both. It could be like, right, I'm not going to even, I've got this on my short list, but I haven't committed to an option yet. I'm going to have a proper think about it when it's clear that City are a genuine option. But both can be true.
Yeah. No, facts.
Yeah.
All right, then. Big up. Shout out to Vish. Says the amount of counter Burnish stop. Amazing, for fuck's sake, says Vish. You know what, as well? Shout out Bernardo Silva, man. He's literally one of the only City players I actually like listening to after a City defeat or a draw. Like, he actually just says it how it is. He doesn't glaze. He says the shit that I want to hear, man. Like, he doesn't fucking, water anything down. And defo seems like there's some bad shit gone on in the dressing room this year. Did you see his interview?
He said something like, you can tell who you can go to war with. I'd just be interested to know who he's talking about.
Well, there's obviously players in the dressing room that he feels like maybe are not given the 100% or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Maybe we'll see with the outgoings this summer. I don't know, because you'd guess Pep wouldn't want to keep players like that.
Yeah. I can't imagine it being any of the older guys, like Kovacic and that. Ain't no way. And it's not going to be any of the new signings, because you're not going to sign for Manchester City for like 30, 40, 50 mil, 60 mil, and then just not try. You know what I mean? Like, so it's got to be someone that's maybe a bit younger. That I don't know. Weird. It's a bit weird comment, but
I'd guess again from his comments, I'd guess it's someone who started, because wasn't he specifically referring to the players on the pitch? So I'd guess it would be one of the players that started. I don't know.
I don't know if he's definitely talking about, because I think he's talking about the season, isn't he?
Oh, okay.
I don't think he's speaking specifically about the game on Saturday. He might have done. Let me know in the chat, but I think he was speaking about generally just the season. Because I think he said, this season has showed me. I think that's the comment. I think that's the quote. Right. I think the quote was, this season has showed me who we can go to war with. So I don't think it was necessarily about the player. So I don't know who it is, man. Obviously, there's one player who's on quite a lot of money that never plays. Maybe it's him. I don't know. Who knows? But it's a bit of a mad comment to make, in it. You know what I mean? Because like now everyone's just going to be speculating about it. And you know what I'm saying? You can't just drop that comment and then fucking expect no one to talk about it. Like, it's pretty mad, to be honest. But anyway, let's wrap it up. Shout out to Tinsay Bro. Says, is this really a £400 million problem or a Pep problem? I think both. I'm not even sitting on the fence, bro. Yeah, again, for the people that hate Pep, I think Pep has had a terrible year this year. There you go. Said it again for the 500th time, even though you want me to say Pep out. I think he's had a terrible year. But the players are mediocre at best. Not all of them, but a lot of the players are mediocre. That's why they bought 4 in January and spent 175 million. And that's why they're probably going to do another 250, 300 million this summer and buy another 4, 5, 6 players. They don't do that if the players are good enough.
Yeah, it's definitely more the former than the latter. Look, Pep has made errors this season, but we should finish third. And we know that we how many times have we said that this player's not good enough, that player's not good enough, we need to bring in 4 or 5 players. So it's clearly more so that the fact that the players just aren't good enough. That's why we keep talking about how much of a rebuild we need to do.
Yeah, facts. Exactly. Yeah, the players, man. The players ain't it, man. We need new players. But Pep's still doing that. Anyway, that's it. Let's wrap it up there. All right, Bray. You got a show coming out today, Bray?
I'm recording another installment of Ask Nobbins. This is my new weekly upload thing. You guys seem to like it, so we're going to keep doing it. It's where I answer people's questions. So if you guys got any questions that you'd like featured in a video for me to outline, go leave a comment on my most recent upload, which talks about the FA Cup final, actually. And yes, so that'll be coming out today. Hashtag Ask Nobbins, installment number 3.
Yeah, facts. Just quickly, just one last thing before we wrap it up. Juma Bar's just done a post on Instagram and talking about the Lens fans, and said we have high hopes for the future. I'm confident my agents will be able to together make the proper decision for next season. So it sounds like he wants to go back to Lens, by the way. So
that's good.
I think that's good as well. And I think that for me lines up perfectly for the departure of John Stones at the end of next season. Yeah,
definitely.
Juma Bar loans for me. Yeah, and I'm not going to go on because we will wrap it up. Juma Bar loan to Lens, Vita Hayes loan somewhere else, and I'm basically saying to both of them, John Stones is leaving at the end of next year. One of you is getting that spot. Go and cook. And at the end of next year, whoever's had the best season, whoever looks more ready to step in, can come in and overtake John Stones. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm doing.
The timeline matches. It makes sense. Yeah, Akanji and Stones and Ake are going to be going. Kusanov, Bar, Hayes, some combination therein will coming in.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Cool. All right, then. Do the questions have to be about football? Can we ask about philosophy as well?
You can, yes. In the first installment, someone asked me the gorilla question. In the second installment, someone asked me what my favorite pasta dish was. So yeah, of course we can. I throw in one non-football question in each installment.
Okay. Bro, 1 human or 100 house cats? I think the cats might take that, bro. I can't lie.
It's easily. It's not easily the cats. Yeah, quite easily. The real question is like 1 human or like 30 cats. It's like that wouldn't even be close.
Yeah,
100 would be insane. You'd only need like 10 to swarm you, and then the rest just like gouge your eyes out easily.
Yeah.
If the cats are up for it anyway. If we're talking about, indoor cats who like don't, whatever. Just hit my mic there. Talk about indoor cats who are pampered and, cry when they're picked up, then it's a different conversation. If we're talking about, cats who are like normal-ish, then yeah, the cats win easily.
Yeah, I heard it on Sam Sulek's mentioned it on his videos, so I thought I'd just ask you there. But anyway.
Yeah.
Right, we'll have to wrap it up, guys. Otherwise, we'll go on for hours. Smash the likes up, guys, if you've not done so already. Let's get these likes up, man. Still 900 people in the building, and we're 20 likes off 400. So come on, man. 20 people. Before you go, do me a favor, smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well if you're new. Make sure you guys subscribe to Nobbins. The link for Nobbins' channel is in the title of the video. So just click it, subscribe, and go watch his Ask Nobbins later on. How do people ask you questions, by the way?
You leave a comment in the previous Ask Nobbins video. But if you want to do it, if you've got like a specific FA Cup final one, just because it's a bit different this week, go leave a comment on my most recent FA Cup final analysis upload. If you've got like a specific question there.
Okay, guys.
Do it like imminently in like the next hour, because I'm going to record it in like an hour.
Right, he's going to have some lunch and then he's going to record it. So, guys, you got an hour if you want to ask him a question about, one human versus whatever animal. Go spam it in there. But yeah, all right then, boys. We'll leave it there. Big up to you. I'll be back later on. I got Hugh and Amos on the channel later at 7. See what their guys are saying. Both of them were at the game on Saturday, so it'll be interesting to see their takes on it as well. No watch-alongs because there's nothing on today. And then maybe tomorrow. Oh, we City tomorrow in it already. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I know.
I've got a game tomorrow already, bro. I'm not ready for that. That's crazy. All right.
Must win. Must win.
Big up to you guys. Smash a like, subscribe. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.